boys and girls, and welcome to This Week in Gaming. There's a decent bit to talk about. A lot of games came out this week, a lot of games that were very anticipated came out this week, namely Rage and Dark Souls. As you know, if you watched yesterday's blog post, I am going to be talking about Rage on Monday, so I'm not going to get too much into that. What I will say is wait for our discussion on Monday before you pick it up or anything like that. Make sure you get the full information first. It's good, I promise. But anyway, let's talk about This Week in Gaming. So, Dark Souls comes out. The successor to Demon Souls, a game that is predicated on the tagline, "Prepare to die." Why, you ask? Because it's hard. It is a game that is extremely challenging, and you need to be prepared for the fact that you are going to die a lot in playing this game. However, the media I've seen, the reviews I've watched, the things I've read, all lead me to feel that it's a well-constructed game. The graphics do seem a little dated at times, but Rage has that problem too for different reasons. And really, graphics aren't what a game's all about. The story seems interesting, but it also appears to not be fully fleshed out. There is a lack of exposition at times, from what I've read. And so that is problematic to me as a story-driven gamer. Gameplay and the interaction of the action fighting and the RPG elements seems good overall. And I think that I will be picking it up for at least a rental in the near future. We'll see how it feels then, and I'll give you guys a post-rental review, just to see how it feels in that amount of time. I don't expect to be able to beat it. That would be silly. Anyway, in other news, Star Wars The Old Republic has released some new information about the companion setups and the companion AI for The Old Republic. Namely, that you will have, in true BioWare fashion, complete control over how autonomous your companions are in-game. Via toggles, you can decide if they're going to do everything on their own, decide when to use their own abilities, all of that. Or you can have it completely manually controlled by yourself, and it'll show up as another ability tray, just like the ability trays for your characters. And then you can just activate everything you want them to do when you want them to do it, which is cool. This also allows you to switch their roles from tanking to DPSing at your free will. Another thing I think is really interesting in terms of questing, for anyone who's played MMOs, one of the most annoying things that happens when you're with a group, you're in an instance, doing a major quest, fighting evil, I don't know, that kind of thing, is when a player drops, and suddenly you're down a person in what was already something challenging. Well, the simple answer to that BioWare's come up with is you're allowed to seamlessly pull in one of the character's companions, and it's up to the team leader whose companion gets to come in. But that companion replaces that person, and should that person come back, as the BioWare game designer mentioned, he once had to leave an instance because his washer was on fire. But if he handled that quickly, somehow, and came back, that companion would be replaced by him, just like that. And that way you have the ability to relatively seamlessly drop in and out should real life intercede on the awesomeness of gaming. This also has given us a little bit of a reveal about group structure missions in the game. There are apparently missions that require groups of 2 to 4, and a companion can serve as a secondary group member. However, because a computer-controlled companion is never going to be as good as a player character, it will be harder. There are also 4-player flashpoints, which all of these group missions are very story-based, very story-structured, just like all of the Old Republic. And these flashpoints are essentially going to be mini-raids, mini-quests. Sort of what the endgame experience is going to be, except that's for 8 people. And in this case, companions can function in that group. However, they suggest that if 2 people go in and bring their 2 companions, that is 4, they could technically try it, but it would probably be impossible, because those 2 companions are not going to have the pure power and ability and skills of player characters. And so I think that's a really good way of balancing the system out. If you're more interested in that, check it out on the Old Republic's website. It's just swtor.com. Also, BioWare is doing a whole new swath of beta testing this week, sending out invites to gamers who have registered. If you're interested in beta testing the Old Republic, go to that website, sign up to beta test. There is some chance you'll get chosen, even though I'm sure 18 bajillion people have tried. Outside of that, other news in gaming, DC Universe Online will supposedly go free sometime in the near future. It's supposed to happen this month, sooner rather than later. No major details on that. I don't have any at this point. Also, a lot of anticipation brewing for more of the games that are coming out this month. Personally, I'm very excited for Batman Arkham City, which is the 18th, I do believe. And I truly think that's going to be one of the year's best games. It has taken all of the positives, Rocksteady's taken all of the positives from Batman Arkham Asylum, which was a fantastic game, the best Batman game ever made. Probably the best superhero game ever made. Definitely the best licensed material game ever made. And from that formula, they just started adding in nuances and details, and it looks fantastic. The environment's much more open, you have much more choice in what you do. Similarly, there's many more enemies, there's more gadgets, there's more combat interaction. In fact, you can start using gadgets in combat. You can use your grapnel to grab someone and pull them over. You can use explosive gel to concuss people, etc. Just really cool things. And so I'm very excited for that as well. Last thing, GameTrailers.com finished its listing of the top 100 game trailers of all time. This is spanning the length and breadth of games. If you're interested in countdowns, go check it out. They have rationale for each trailer they've picked, and given my article on this past Monday, I definitely agree with their choice for number one. Anyway, that's This Week in Gaming. Remember, this coming Monday is going to be a Rage review/discussion. Is the game worth your time? Check out on Monday to find out. This is the Monocled Gamer. Have a great week.